Hi folks, we're here in the budget lockup, just figuring out exactly what's going on with Labor's budget. We know that we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis. We know that renters and mortgage holders and young people are just getting smashed with the housing crisis and with the rental crisis, but don't worry everyone. Jim Chalmers delivered a $4 billion budget surplus. What Jim hasn't realised, of course, is that a $4 billion budget surplus is worth nothing if you're really struggling with your rents, your mortgage payments, your school bills, or putting food on the table for your kids. Barbara?
Well, it's all about the surplus though, Nick. Yeah, I mean, we've really got to go underneath that and say, Jim, you let down a few people. You gave people with a tiny increase in job seeker, tiny increase in rent assistance, less than a loaf of bread, whereas us two, don't worry about us two, we're going to get $9,000 in a tax cut, in the stage 3 tax cut. So, you know, there's a lot of inequality unfolding here, a lot of people left behind, not enough for people who are doing it tough in rent, in food, in the rising prices of the crisis.
Absolutely, and we've had a look at Jim Chalmers' budget speech in advance. There's a lot in there. There's two words that's not mentioned in there: climate change. And when you go into the budget, how's this for priorities? The government is spending more on direct subsidies for fossil fuels than they are in the entirety of their climate program. And if you want another comparison about what's going on here, their stage 3 tax cuts, nearly 80% of those go to the top 20% of income earners. Those stage 3 tax cuts, politicians, billionaires, those stage 3 tax cuts, they are worth 4 times what the government's cost of living program is worth. I mean, that is Labor's priorities in this budget.
And if you're out there worrying about the property moguls, you can relax. They're going to be well looked after. Renters, not so much. But there is a positive piece.
We did have a win.
We've got a win. There is a really significant piece on the electrification package, and we've played a role. The Greens made sure that a lot of that money is now on the table in the budget, will make a difference and will help households make the adaptations that we need. Get off gas, get onto electricity, good for the planet.
Absolutely. Now, what about sole parents, Barbara?
Sole parents, you know, they couldn't quite bring themselves to fix that stuff up from 10 years ago when they punished sole parents who had children over 8. They couldn't quite make the full improvement that's essential to get that benefit available to people with children up to 16. That's 15,000 families left behind, sole parents, mostly mothers, and $80 million. $80 million, and we had $4 billion surplus. Jim, that was a mistake. Could have done a proper job there.
Could have done a proper job, terrible mistake. So the overwhelming response that we've got to this budget is that we are going to keep on fighting. And we're going to keep on fighting so that people get a fair go. We're going to fight to lift people out of poverty. We're going to fight for renters, fight for mortgage holders, make sure that we keep fighting against what is an unfair budget that is a betrayal of Australians living in poverty.
And fight for our planet. Fight for climate change. We've got a lot to do still ahead, and this budget hasn't fixed so much.
Good on you, Barbara.
Go, Nick.
Authorised by J. McCall, Australian Greens, Canberra.